Welcome back to The Forge, everyone, your place for gaming videos, reviews, and Let's Plays. Today's video is going to be a review for an early access game called the Dyson Sphere Program. It is currently $19.99 on Steam on the time of recording, and I'm pleased to say that the developers have been putting out updates regularly since its release. This game is part of the automation simulation genre, along with other games such as Factorio, Satisfactory, and Mindustry, where the goal is to keep building things, then to automate them and watch as your creations build even more. Now let's answer a big question right out of the door. What is a Dyson Sphere? A Dyson sphere is a hypothetical megastructure that completely envelops a star and captures a large percentage of its energy output. And in this game, it is your job to start from scratch with your Mech Icarus and build one. With all that out of the way, let's move on to how I review games here at the Forge. Every game will get a score out of 10 in 5 different categories: fun factor, controls and gameplay, graphics, audio, and finally, replayability and stability. Then those scores will be averaged into a final score. With the final score, I will also have a recommendation on whether to buy the game immediately, wait for it to go on a discount, or avoid it entirely. Now it's time for the first section. How fun is it? I'm gonna answer that question with the resounding, it's a lot of fun, even this early in its development. The fun comes from automating the smaller things and watching them all come together on an interstellar scale to build a Dyson sphere. Now, I will say this game is not for everyone, unfortunately. It can feel like a lot of busy work to get to the cool stuff, but that's what drives this genre of games. In my experience, it slows down as you are trying to build your third matrix, those of which I will go over in the gameplay section, but it picks right back up as soon as you get enough of them to unlock your interplanetary travel, reducing your trips from different planets. Overall, for this section, I'm going to give it a 7, with it being a whole lot of fun for what it is right now, but points are reduced for the tedious mid-game that unfortunately feels like a slog right now. So, with this being a PC game, the settings menu is a pretty important part for most people, and right now it feels a little bare bones on the options. Now, that's not to say that the important stuff isn't here, but that this is a reminder that the game is still in early access. Now, all of the controls are able to be changed to a different keybind with the dev update about 3 weeks ago. I ended up moving the move camera button from the middle mouse button because my hand was cramping with how much you move the camera, but your mileage may vary. Now, onto the gameplay aspect. The basic gameplay is collection of resources to build things to automate those resources to make even more things that does cooler and cooler things. You start out having to mine the iron and copper by Icarus's hand, but that quickly evolves into making items such as a solar sail ejector, items required for researching new technologies, the cube matrices, and plenty of other sci fi goodies. Now, the gameplay is almost downright addicting. I've had numerous nights since it released where I'm like, just one more tech or one more thing getting automated, and then I'll put it up. This gameplay loop works extremely well, and the only thing that I can think of to come close to this experience is the Civilization series, where you just want one more turn. So for this section, I'm giving it a 9. Very engaging, with the only point being knocked off for some of the controls' default options and lack of PC centric options. Now, I'm not a PC elitist that believes every game has to have AAA quality visuals and RTX cranked all the way up, like The Witcher, Control, or Metro, but I do like a game to have its own charm and plenty of options to play with, which I think the devs are still working on. It doesn't have many graphics options at this time, no texture presets, or anything like that, but I can say the game looks fantastic. Just about the only bad thing I can think of is sometimes icons become pixelated when you're looking zoomed in completely at them. But time and time again, I take a second and I just like to wander and look at my mining empire. Seeing the Dyson sails encircling the sun is a feeling that not a lot of games can give you, especially because you, the player, are the ones who put them there. I feel like this game deserves a 9 for this section as well. The game looks great for what it is, and the only point knocked down is for a lack of graphics control. The soundtrack is pretty average in my opinion. I feel like the ambient audio loops too frequently, but I do like the sci fi adventurous design they were going for. Most of the time when I've been playing, I turn the audio slightly down and turn on my own music while still having a blast with the game. The sound effects are very good. I haven't found a single one that doesn't seem out of place. From the water filling up tanks, to the vessels and drones fluttering about, to Icarus clunking around the various planets, it all sounds terrific. One thing I have noticed in the most recent patch was that more sound effects were added, like to the Matrix labs, giving a more tech feel to them. For this section, I'm going to give it a 7. It's better than average, but you'll grow tired of the ambient track far too quickly, just as I did. I'm going to tackle stability first in this section because honestly, I'm amazed on how stable this early access game is. I have not had a single crash in the entire 78 hours I have put into it. That is remarkable, and hope it stays this way as more and more features are added. Now, for replayability, I feel like the cycle itself isn't inherently replayable, but knowing how to do stuff more efficiently makes it worth going back. Multiple times I've thought of ideas to get my belts and sorters going from smaller and varied directions, and that's what keeps pulling me back in and starting new worlds. There isn't much to do in the game after you complete your Dyson Sphere, but the devs have said they plan for much more content, such as combat, in the coming months. Overall, for this section, I'm giving it an 8, with the only points knocked off for a lack of a post game, but I'm sure this will be remedied on their official release. So, we finally come to the end of the first game review here on The Forge. I had a blast playing this game, and I think anybody who enjoys simulation or strategy type games would share the same sentiments. I'm definitely looking forward to more updates from the devs, but now it is time for the final score. For Dyson Sphere Program, I am giving it a 7 out of 10 with a finely forged seal of approval. It does have some shortcomings, such as audio, lack of setting options, and not much to do after your Dyson Sphere is completed, but this is only the beginning. I am hoping for good things to come from this game, and let me know in the comments if later down the line if you would like me to revisit this game. But for now, thank you everyone for watching. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel for your chance to win a copy of this game for yourself and to see more content coming out weekly. See you again next time.